Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to a new episode of Average Joe Sports. In this episode, we're starting our NFL record predictions, going division by division, and today we're starting with the AFC North. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And I'll be doing this list by who I think will be in first, going all the way down to last, of course. Starting off with a 13-4 record, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, no J.K. Dobbins. So do they miss a step with Gus Edwards? I think Gus Edwards instantly shoots up fantasy draft boards. He's going to be getting the main amount of carries. Bell cow type running back probably will be in on third down as well. So with that move, I don't really see too much of a drop down in terms of production at least. Lamar is still going to get his yards as well. They lost Mark Ingram. We'll see if that hurts them. But it was a crowded backfield. It's so unfortunate that J.K. Dobbins goes down with a torn ACL. But now it's up to Gus Edwards to take that main spot. And honestly, he'll probably rush for over 1,000 yards. Another question coming into this offseason was, has Lamar's passing improved enough? They've drafted him targets now, the addition of Sammy Watkins. Other guys still got Mark Andrews as your number one tight end. Going top 5 in fantasy. We really need to see that drop back Lamar this season. And I think that's really what's holding Baltimore back from really just giving him a long-term big money contract. They need to see this last evolution of his game. And if they do, the rewards will be huge. And they'll be able to go deeper into the playoffs. A little teaser for you there. Has the front seven lost a step? Are they aging out? Calais Campbell doesn't look like what he used to be. Names that are just all of a sudden not so good, can't get over the hump. Getting off the field on third down will be a big problem for this team possibly. But if they can figure out getting off the field and the whole keep the ball for 40 minutes a game like they've been known to do in the past, I think they'll be able to figure it out. Can they get over the hump in the playoffs though? Will they be able to get past the divisional round of the playoffs? I do have them at 13-4, so I do have them winning the division. I think it's going to be tough. But as long as they can beat Cleveland, I think Pittsburgh's on the decline, and quite possibly Baltimore can reap all the benefits. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns. At a respectable 11-6 and 4-2 in the division. I also had Baltimore at 5-1 in the division, with their one loss coming against Cleveland, at Cleveland. So, Cleveland's always a hard place to play, especially with those fans. You gotta love the dog pound. But yeah, I have Cleveland at 11-6. And I'm having them at 0-1 to start the season for the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th year in a row? I forget what the stat was, but 2 seasons ago I remember seeing it, and it's just the Browns haven't won week 1 in a fucking long time. So, unfortunately for them, that's just going to continue this year. But I don't see them having a bad year. I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield. Everybody knows that. I like Baker Mayfield. I have a Baker Mayfield t-shirt for crying out loud. I like his style of play. I like his arrogance on the field, off the field. You need that little swagger. Greedy Williams, Ward. This is going to be a scary team come playoff time. Another little tease. But yeah, with a record of 11-6, you're probably going to get into the playoffs. But where? That's the real question. Willis has looked amazing in the preseason on their offensive line. One that was top 3 in the NFL last year. He's just adding to his dominance. He's going to be a high paid tackle, guys. With Josh Allen getting his mega contract this offseason with the 2018 quarterbacks, is Baker the next to get a contract? This is his prove-it year to the Browns. If he wants to get paid, he has to win this year. I expect him to be good. Is he going to get superstar money? I don't know. Do you pay Baker Mayfield $39 million a year? With the salary cap going up, who's to say? Second year in Stefanski's offense. He hasn't had a second year in anybody's offense so far. Everyone knows the Freddie Kitchens situation. And finally, we get a guy with some decent common sense, building a real structure. Second year in Stefanski's offense. I see Baker just improving. The Browns as a whole, overall, getting a lot better. And it's good to see that one of those teams that have went through so much shit. The Chiefs were in that situation during the early 2010s, the late 2000s. Just bad. Not nearly as bad as the Browns were. The Browns were a special type of bad. Special type of bad. I don't think the Chiefs fans ever. Well, there was a 2-14 season that I remember was pretty tough to get through as a young child. But Cleveland, congratulations. Football is officially back. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I have in third place in division at 9-8. Rejuvenated Big Ben? Question mark. Looks like he's really slimmed down. We'll see if that helps. Didn't play at all in the preseason. Big Ben doesn't play in the preseason. We'll see how Najee Harris does. How good will he be with a not-so-great O-line? Every good running back has a good offensive line. Now, you can be Saquon and have like a little bit of an anomaly year, but look, he's injured. I'm not saying that that's due to his offensive line. But anybody who's picking Saquon like number 2 in fantasy, number 3, I mean, the knee situation still doesn't look like he's going to be 100% week 1. And behind a terrible, terrible fucking offensive line, everyone knows that that's at a disadvantage now. So we'll just have to see. But I do think Najee Harris will do good for them this year. Now, can Claypool in year 2 solidify his place as a possible number 1 over Juju, over Washington, over the whole slew of wide receivers that the Pittsburgh Steelers have? I mean, I really expect Claypool to make a push for the number 1 wide receiver position. We know for a fact that the defense will always be good under Mike Tomlin. They have TJ Watt. Devin Bush is coming back. Front 7 is fucking stacked. They got Minkah Fitzpatrick holding down the back. That could be a little bit of a question mark, but they'll always find somebody. They'll always come together. They're always a great defense. But if the offense struggles, can they carry them? And if so, for how long? We saw it a couple years ago when Big Ben went out and Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges was in. The defense alone carried them 8 wins, They just have to do enough. And finally, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Last in the division, in the cellar, with a lonely 3-14 record and 0-6 within the division. How will Joe Burrow perform less than a year after his knee reconstruction surgery? I mean, that was a bad ACL. That wasn't just an ACL. That was an MCL, PCL, whatever LCL fucking you got in your fucking knee needed to be fucking repaired for Joe Burrow. Will they regret passing on Penei Sewell? Somebody that you can solidify a piece of your fucking offensive line for the next 10, 12 years? And don't even get me started. I'll get there with the Lions. Don't worry. I'll get there with the Lions fucking switching Penei Sewell from left tackle to right tackle. What the fuck are you thinking? He has to bite kneecaps on the other side of the fucking line. I have real questions with their offense. I know T. Higgins is going to be better. He's going to be a big fantasy prospect this year. There's a lot of mouths to feed. How will Jamar Chase go to the NFL? The transition period, he had a year off with the COVID situation in college. Are him and Joe Burrow going to be just able to pick off right where they left off at LSU? I haven't seen much of their preseason because Joe Burrow hasn't played, And I'm not watching Cincinnati Bengals preseason games. I'm sorry. I don't know much about Jamar Chase, but I expect him to be good. And the defense is still a huge question mark. We will see. I wish that I could say that they would be better, but I just don't see it. The offensive line is still terrible. They added Trey Hendrickson. He's not going to do much with their pass rush. I'm expecting some sad days ahead in Cincinnati. So just a quick recap on those record predictions for the AFC North. Starting off at number 1, first in the division, we have Baltimore Ravens at 13-4, 5-1 inside the division. Second, we have the Cleveland Browns at 11-6 with a record of 4-2 inside the division. Third, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at a 9-8 record and 3-3 inside the division. And lastly, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at a whopping 3 wins, 14 losses, and 0-6 inside the division. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the little bell notification. I'll be back with another episode soon. Thank you guys.